everyone, this is Amanda at Amanda's Booktopia. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, welcome back. And today, we're doing another episode of my book haul slash unhaul project because I have brought in 3 new books, so I need to get rid of another 3 just so I can keep up with this. So let's start with the books that I'm reading in, because that's the fun part. So the first one I got off of Pango Books, and that is The Tearsmith by Aaron Doom. I found out that there's a movie coming to Netflix based off this book. And so I decided I wanted to do a video project with that. So I got the book off of Pango because everywhere else it was like $14 something. Got off of Pango for like 10 something, which included shipping. So that was a steal. So I got this so that way I could do that video project, and it sounds really, really interesting. It says, growing up in a ghastly orphanage run by an abusive matron, Nika coped in the only way she could, by retreating to her imagination, where she lived out fantastical stories, especially about the Tearsmith, the man who makes tears, a terrifying figure who forges all the fears that dwell in people's hearts. When she's finally taken in by an adoptive family at 17, Nika thinks she's leaving the group home, its torments, and her prison of otherworldly tales behind her. That is, until Rigel, a young man, raised from birth in the same dreadful orphanage, joins her new family. Rigel is as mesmerizingly handsome as he is troubled, and he and Nika have a long history of distrust and hostility. But as they come to live together again under one roof, the deep shared trauma of surviving such vicious circumstances sparks something magical, and Nika begins to fall for Rigel's forbidden love. Before any relationship can become reality, though, they'll have to face the darkness of their past and the dangerous stakes of pursuing a future together. And that sounds absolutely fascinating, and I'm very excited to read this because the adaptation comes out in April. So I will be reading the book and then watching it and then coming back to you guys with all my thoughts on a video specifically for this book and movie. So I am very excited. You will see this in my April TBR somehow. I am psyched to pick this one up. It's a little bit chunky. It has how many pages? 559 pages. So it's a pretty chunky book. But I'm game, because I am very excited for this one. It sounds so interesting. It sounds like something I am really going to love. So I cannot wait to fit this into my April TBR. And then the second book that I picked up, well, technically it wasn't me that got it. It was my wonderful fiance, Ray. He gifted me this book, and that is The Last Letter by Rebecca Yarros. We both absolutely loved Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Iron Flame, Fourth Wing I gave 5 stars. Iron Flame I gave 4.5. There's a very specific reason for that rating. However, as much as I loved that series, I have one other book by her that's a romance book called The Things We Leave Unfinished. And then this is another romance from her that sounded really interesting. And the synopsis reads like a letter. So let me read to you that letter that's on the back. It says, Beckett, if you're reading this, well, you know the last letter drill. You made it, I didn't. Get off the guilt train, because I know if there was any chance you could have saved me, you would have. I need one thing from you. Get out of the army and get to Telluride. My little sister Ella is raising the twins alone. She's too independent and won't accept help easily. But she has lost our grandmother, our parents, and now me. It's too much for anyone to endure. It's not fair. And here's the kicker. There's something else you don't know that's tearing her family apart. She's going to need help. So if I'm gone, that means I can't be there for Ella. I can't help them through this. But you can. So I'm begging you, as my best friend, go take care of my sister, my family. Please don't make her go through it alone. Ryan. And that's just... Doesn't it just sound heartbreaking? Absolutely heartbreaking. And then the last but not least book that I brought in is Wonka, based off the new movie. So this is like the prequel book. And it's adapted from the screenplay, from the actual movie. And I just read this and really, really enjoyed it. The only difference is there's no music in it. However, everything else in this book is exactly like the movie. And I just read it for Realmathon for our Peace Talks weekend. And I will link that video down below in the description so you guys could check out that vlog where I talk about this. And I really enjoyed it, and it was a fun time. So because I brought in all these books, I need to get rid of 3. So these are the 3 that I'm unhauling. First off, we have Killing November by Adriana Mather. I thought about picking this up at some point, but in reality, I'm just not excited for this. And I have no desire to reach for it anytime soon. And that's the reason why I'm getting rid of this. I mean, I've heard she's a good author. Maybe at some point if I really want to, I'll get an audiobook. But right now, I'm just not in the mood for it. And I don't see myself gravitating towards it. So that's why I'm getting rid of this one. And then the second book that I'm going to be unhauling is Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Coulthurst. I think that's how you pronounce it. I believe it's a YA fantasy. And it sounded interesting, so that's why I kept it for as long as I have. However, I don't see myself picking it up anytime soon, because I have other books that I'd much rather get to before this. So maybe at some point I'll get an audio of this one as well. But right now I do not need a physical copy, so I am getting rid of it. And then last but not least, third book I am getting rid of is Grace and Fury by Tracy Bangart? I don't know how you pronounce that. I believe this is also another fantasy. It has a letter from the author in here and a bookmark. And I believe it's also some kind of YA fantasy. And yeah, something about sisterhood and survival and all this stuff. It sounded really interesting when I got it, which is also another reason why I held on to it for so long. But I'm not super excited for it right now. Like I said about the others, maybe an audiobook sometime. But right now, I'm just not excited for this. So that's the reason why I am unhauling this one as well. And that is all the books that I have brought in and taken out for this episode. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. If you did, give me a huge thumbs up. If you want to see more bookish content from me, make sure you smash that subscribe button down below. And I'll see you all next time.